Hi, this is Chef Alexa. Welcome to Ask Alexa. So if this is the first time you are joining me, I have made a request to everyone to send me some questions. Questions related to food or culinary arts or wellness or healthy-ish type things, and I would take a shot at answering them based on my experiences, based on my expertise, or just based off of the things that I have learned and researched. So this is Ask Alexa. The first question is, how do I wash my greens? Specifically chard. Well, you can wash it like your other greens. Your collard greens or your mustard greens, turnip greens, they're all the same. But remember, they come out or they grow out of the earth. So there's going to be a lot of dirt on them. Sometimes you have to wash them more than once. What I typically do is I will clean out my sink with soap and water really well. Then I'm going to rinse it off and get all of the suds off, get all of the dirt off and everything else. Then I'm going to fill up my sink. Once the stopper is in, I'm going to fill up my sink with cold water and add a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Once the sink is full, I'm going to break down or chop up my greens and let it kind of float in the sink. I'm going to dunk them a few times. I'm going to agitate it, get any loose dirt off, and then I'm going to let it sit. Maybe about 3 to 5 minutes. After that amount of time, I'm going to agitate it again, and I'll have a colander set aside. I'm going to lift the greens. I'm not going to drain the sink yet. I'm going to lift the greens out of the water and put it in my colander. I'm doing this because dirt is settling to the bottom of the sink. So if I were to just drain the sink with the greens in it, the greens are going to get dirty again because that dirt is in the bottom of the sink. And when all of the water is gone, those greens are going to be at the bottom of the sink with the dirt. So while the water is still in the sink, I'm going to lift the greens out, put them in a colander until the sink is empty. Then I'm going to drain the sink. I'm going to rinse it out with water. I'm going to plug it up again, fill it with cold water, and I'm going to dunk those greens again. So I'm going to do it for a second time, making sure I agitate it because I really want my greens clean. And depending upon where they come from, as soon as you pick them up from the store, you know how dirty they are, and you know how many times you have to wash them. So always inspect them. The worst thing to do is eat cooked greens with grit on it. It just ruins the whole dish. So once I do that, I drain it for the second time, put it in the colander, let it dry off as much as possible. Sometimes I'll let it air dry a little bit if it's nice and warm outside. If I'm not going to use my greens right away, then I will get a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, and put my greens in the Ziploc bag and kind of line it with the paper towel because I want any water that is left on my greens to be absorbed by the paper towel. In a closed environment such as a plastic bag, water is the worst enemy to any of your greens, whether it's lettuce or a hearty green like kale or collard greens, because that water is going to start breaking down the greens and they are going to shorten, or all of that water is going to shorten the lifespan of your greens. So definitely use them right away, but if you can't, you can hold them for maybe 2 days, sometimes 3, but make sure you check them beforehand. You don't want them to be slimy or anything. And then, yeah, that's it. That's how you wash your greens. And then look for part 2 of this video. Thank you very much. Have a great day. My website is www.alexajoan.com, or you can find my YouTube channel, which is simply Alexa Joan, ALEXAJOAN. Take care and have a good day.